Hey everyone, I'm Brad Wood, and I am a business consultant with Valiantis, a platinum solutions partner of Atlassian. In today's video, we're going to look at a new feature in Jira Service Management that allows you to restrict the visibility of request types. We'll look at how to configure this, and we'll talk about some use cases and best practices. So with that, let's jump into JSM. All right, so here we are in a demo site of Jira Service Management, and we can see this request type, confidential HR case. Maybe we don't want everybody to be able to view this request type or submit requests using this request type. We can limit the visibility of this request type in our project. So let's go into the project itself, and we will navigate to Project Settings, and then we'll go to Request Types. And then I'll find my request type, confidential HR case. And we can see a new icon here in the top here, this lock icon. And so if we hover over this, we can see anyone can raise this request. But if we click on the lock, we can now restrict this request type. And we see some helpful text here giving us some information. There's a link here to some more information as well. And notice in this bar here, we see search username or group. So we can restrict the visibility of this request type by specific users or groups. And unlike other restriction configurations in Jira Service Management, we will not be able to restrict this by project roles, but we can do it by individual users or groups. So we'll click in here, and I've set up a group for just my HR team. So I will click that and I'll click add. And now we can see the HR team has access and everyone else no access. And the last step here is going to be to click apply. And now we can see the icon has changed. It's a red lock icon. And if I hover over it, we see only specific people can raise this request. The last part of this to test this is we'll go back out to the portal and I'll refresh. And now I can no longer see the confidential HR request type. I am not in that HR team group. And so now my visibility of that request type has been limited. A couple quick notes about this new feature. If a user does not have access to that request type, they will not be able to raise that request or view it at all in the portal. So like we see right here, I'm not even able to view that this request type exists in the portal. I just don't see it at all. Restricted request types cannot be raised by anyone via email, chat, the widget, or the virtual agent. So keep that in mind when choosing to restrict a request type. So even if I was in that HR team and had visibility to this request type, I would not be able to use, again, email, chat, the widget, or the virtual agent to raise that restricted request type. It is possible to allow apps to access restricted request types, and Atlassian has provided some documentation on how to configure that. So take a look at that if needed. And really the use case here is you may have request types in your instance that only certain individuals or teams should be able to access. Maybe you have onboarding or offboarding request types that should only be visible to managers, for instance. Or like we just saw in this demo, maybe you want to restrict those request types by a department such as HR or legal, etc. And then one last thing to note is these restrictions only apply to creating that request. Once that request is created, anyone who has access to view the corresponding issue in Jira Service Management will still be able to view it. So you want to keep that in mind as you build your service desk projects, insofar as that you still will need to control the visibility of that issue on the back end while it's created. So again, if you've got something like in this demo, that confidential HR request type, you're going to want to make sure to configure restrictions on the visibility on that on the back end as well. So again, the visibility lock on your request type is just for submitting that request. And then once it is submitted, you're going to want to configure that visibility restrictions on the corresponding issue as well. So that was just a quick look at how to restrict the visibility of request types in Jira Service Management. This feature is still rolling out, so you might not see it in your cloud instance yet, but you will see it shortly. I hope you found this video informative, and if you have any other questions on anything Atlassian related, please feel free to reach out to me via email or LinkedIn, both of which will be included in the description box below. Thanks again for watching, and have a great day.